Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by stating something fundamental, something undeniable. Human connection is one of the most profound forces in existence. It is the very glue that binds our relationships, our societies, and indeed the essence of our being. But what is it, truly, that creates that connection? What is it about a simple gesture, a touch, that has the power to transcend words and cut straight to the core of who we are? We are wired biologically and psychologically to respond to touch. It is not just a fleeting sensation, but a deeply embedded signal that conveys meaning, intent, and emotion. A touch can soothe a crying infant, heal a wounded heart, or, for the purposes of our discussion today, create an undeniable magnetism between two people. Touch is one of the most profound and universal ways human beings communicate. It transcends language, culture, and even reason, connecting us on a deeply primal level. Unlike spoken words, which can be misunderstood or ignored, touch carries an undeniable weight and immediacy. A single touch can communicate emotions that would take paragraphs to articulate. Love, reassurance, empathy, or trust. Its power lies in its simplicity, yet it is anything but simplistic. From the moment we are born, touch plays a fundamental role in shaping our understanding of the world and our place in it. A mother's embrace soothes her infant, signaling safety and love long before the child understands words. This early imprint of touch as a form of communication is carried with us throughout our lives. It becomes a bridge, connecting us to others in ways that words often cannot. A handshake seals a deal. A pat on the back reassures a friend. A gentle touch on the arm communicates care and presence. Psychologically, touch activates regions of the brain associated with trust, bonding, and emotional well-being. When we are touched in ways that are respectful and comforting, it triggers the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone. This neurochemical reaction deepens bonds and fosters a sense of connection and intimacy. In this way, touch not only expresses emotion, but also reinforces and strengthens relationships on a biochemical level. Yet the power of touch goes beyond the personal and into the universal. It is a language we all speak and understand, no matter our background or experiences, even in moments of conflict or stress. A simple gesture, a hand extended in peace, or a shoulder squeezed in reassurance can break down barriers and create a shared human moment. However, touch is not merely physical, it carries symbolic weight. The act of touching someone appropriately is an acknowledgement of their presence and humanity. It says, "I see you, and I am here with you." When touch is used with intention and respect, it conveys authenticity and care, making it nearly impossible to resist its pull. In a world often dominated by digital communication, the significance of touch stands out even more. It is a reminder of what makes us fundamentally human, our ability to connect, to feel, and to share moments that words alone cannot capture. Humans are biologically and psychologically wired to respond to touch, a truth rooted in our evolutionary history. Long before language developed as a means of communication, touch served as a critical tool for survival, bonding, and social cohesion. It's a mechanism so deeply ingrained in our physiology that its effects on the brain and body are profound and automatic. In our evolutionary past, touch played an essential role in establishing trust and safety within social groups. For early humans, a reassuring touch signaled that someone was not a threat. Grooming behaviors, common among primates, weren't just about cleanliness. They strengthened bonds within the group and promoted cooperation. These early patterns laid the foundation for how we, as modern humans, still rely on touch to form connections and convey trust. From a biological perspective, touch activates the release of chemicals like oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, which are directly linked to feelings of happiness, relaxation, and connection. Oxytocin in particular is often associated with bonding and attachment. It's released during moments of physical connection, such as a hug or a comforting hand on the shoulder, and it creates a sense of security and emotional closeness. This neurochemical response is not random. It's a product of our evolutionary need to form close communities for mutual protection and support. Touch is also deeply tied to the regulation of stress. When we are touched in a caring or reassuring way, our bodies respond by reducing cortisol, the stress hormone. This response is crucial because it signals safety. In an evolutionary context, feeling safe allowed our ancestors to focus on thriving rather than merely surviving. Today, it continues to be a cornerstone of emotional well-being. Psychologically, touch taps into something primal. It is a form of communication that requires no words and yet is universally understood. A light touch can calm someone in distress, just as a firm handshake can establish respect and mutual regard. This immediacy of understanding is part of what makes touch so powerful. It bypasses intellectual analysis and speaks directly to our most fundamental instincts. In an increasingly disconnected world where digital interactions often replace physical ones, our innate need for touch becomes even more apparent. It reminds us of our shared humanity, grounded in millennia of evolution, and its capacity to heal, connect, and reassure is as vital today as it was in the earliest days of human existence. Touch is far more than a physical gesture. It is one of the most powerful tools for building and sustaining connection. And at its core, touch conveys a depth of emotion and understanding that words often cannot. It is a silent, yet profoundly expressive way of saying, I am here with you, and its impact on relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, cannot be overstated. The significance of touch lies in its ability to communicate multiple layers of meaning simultaneously. A simple touch on the hand, for example, can express reassurance, comfort, and solidarity without a single word being spoken. It transcends verbal communication. Touch tells a person that they are seen, valued, and cared for in a way that feels immediate and deeply personal. From a psychological perspective, touch creates a sense of belonging. Humans are inherently social creatures, and touch acts as a bridge between individuals, closing the distance and fostering emotional intimacy. In relationships, it serves as a tool to strengthen bonds and reinforce feelings of closeness. And aside from paternal Freud's botanical perspective, a hug after a long day, a supportive pat on the back, or a playful nudge during a shared laugh all create moments of connection that build trust and mutual understanding. Touch also has the remarkable ability to de-escalate tension and reduce conflict. When emotions run high, a well-timed gesture, like placing a hand on someone's shoulder, can diffuse anger and remind them of the human connection underlying the disagreement. This calming effect works because touch bypasses the rational analytical mind and speaks directly to the emotional brain. It reminds us of our shared vulnerability and softens barriers, allowing empathy to emerge. On a deeper level, touch creates a sense of security in a world that can often feel chaotic or isolating. Physical connection provides an anchor. It grounds us in the present moment and reminds us that we are not alone. Whether it's a comforting embrace or a gentle touch on the arm, these gestures have the power to heal emotional wounds and rebuild fractured trust. Ultimately, touch is one of the most profound ways we connect with others. It is a silent language, rich with meaning and nuance that fosters understanding and strengthens the fabric of our relationships. When used intentionally and with care, it becomes an indispensable tool for creating lasting bonds. The physical zones where touch is most impactful are not merely about sensation. They are deeply connected to the symbolic and psychological frameworks that define human interaction. These areas hold meaning beyond their physicality, resonating with aspects of trust, intimacy, and vulnerability. Each zone carries a specific significance, shaped by both evolutionary biology and cultural context, which makes touch in these areas particularly potent. For example, touching someone's hand is a universal gesture of connection. It symbolizes agreement, solidarity, and mutual respect. From a handshake sealing a deal to interlocked fingers conveying affection, the hand represents cooperation and trust. This is why touching hands is often the starting point for deeper connections. It is both non-threatening and highly communicative, bridging the gap between individuals. The shoulders and upper back are another area rich with meaning. A touch here conveys support and reassurance, often in moments of vulnerability or stress. When someone places a hand on your shoulder, it communicates strength and solidarity, saying, "I'm here for you." Evolutionarily, this makes sense. The back is a vulnerable part of the body, and allowing someone to touch it signals trust and openness. The face, particularly the cheeks and jawline, is an intimate zone, often reserved for those with whom we share deep emotional bonds. A gentle touch on the face conveys tenderness and care, signaling a level of closeness that transcends casual interaction. This intimacy is rooted in vulnerability. Our faces are the most expressive part of our bodies, revealing emotions and intentions. Allowing someone to touch your face is an act of trust, a physical acknowledgement of emotional safety. The chest, near the heart, holds powerful symbolic weight. A hand placed here speaks directly to the core of a person's being, symbolizing sincerity and emotional truth. This is why gestures, like placing a hand over the heart, are often associated with authenticity and deep connection. Finally, the lower back carries a unique significance, particularly in romantic or protective contexts. A gentle touch here can convey guidance, intimacy, or care, reinforcing a sense of closeness and partnership. These zones are not random. They reflect the underlying structures of human connection. Touching these areas with intention and respect speaks to primal instincts of safety, trust, and closeness. It's a language of both the body and the soul, capable of creating bonds that are profound and enduring. The power of touch lies not just in its physical act, but in the intent and authenticity behind it. Touch, when used without genuine care or understanding, can feel empty or even intrusive. On the other hand, when it is deliberate and rooted in real emotion, it becomes a profound means of connection that strengthens bonds and communicates trust. This distinction between mechanical and meaningful touch is crucial because the difference is felt instinctively. Humans are exceptionally perceptive when it comes to intent. A gesture that feels rushed, obligatory, or insincere can create discomfort or distance, even if the physical action itself seems appropriate. For example, a distracted handshake or a perfunctory hug lacks the emotional resonance necessary to convey genuine care. In contrast, even a small, deliberate touch on the hand or shoulder, when given with full attention and presence, can have a lasting impact. The key lies in the emotional energy conveyed through the touch. Touch that is rooted in authenticity comes from an awareness of the other person's emotional state and needs. It is an act of listening, expressed physically. A comforting hand on someone's shoulder during a moment of stress or a warm hug after a long day communicates, "I understand," and "I'm here with you." This level of connection cannot be faked. It requires a genuine desire to support, comfort, or celebrate with the other person. Intentionality also reflects respect for boundaries. Not all touch is appropriate in every situation or relationship, and understanding this requires a level of emotional intelligence. A mindful touch takes into account the context, the nature of the relationship, and the comfort level of the other person. By respecting these nuances, touch becomes a gesture of care rather than one of imposition. At its core, the authenticity of touch is about being fully present. In today's fast-paced world where distractions are abundant, giving someone your undivided attention, even for a moment, through touch is incredibly meaningful. It signals that you are not just physically present, but emotionally engaged as well. When used with genuine intent, touch becomes a powerful bridge between people. It transforms from a simple physical act into a profound statement of connection, trust, and humanity. It reminds us that true communication often transcends words, existing instead in the quiet, meaningful gestures that affirm our shared emotional experience. Touch is not just a fleeting interaction. It is the foundation upon which deep and lasting bonds are built. Its power lies in its ability to create moments of connection that feel genuine and profound, transcending the limitations of words or other forms of communication. When touch is used with care and intention, it reinforces emotional ties, strengthens relationships, and fosters a sense of safety and belonging that endures over time. At its core, touch communicates something fundamental. You are not alone. This message, whether conveyed through a hug, a pat on the back, or the simple holding of a hand, carries immense weight in human relationships. It reassures us in times of stress, celebrates with us in moments of joy, and grounds us when life feels overwhelming. Touch serves as a constant reminder that we are connected to others, and this sense of connection is essential for emotional well-being. Over time, the consistency of meaningful touch builds trust. In close relationships, whether between partners, friends, or family members, touch becomes a way of reinforcing bonds. A reassuring gesture during a difficult conversation, a spontaneous hug in a moment of happiness, or a gentle squeeze of the hand when words fall short. Each of these actions leaves an imprint. They accumulate, creating a shared history of physical and emotional presence that strengthens the relationship. Touch also plays a crucial role in healing and reconciliation. When trust has been strained or broken, a sincere and thoughtful gesture can help rebuild that connection. A comforting embrace or a hand extended in apology communicates vulnerability and a willingness to repair the relationship. These actions bypass defensiveness and open the door to forgiveness and understanding. Importantly, touch reminds us of the humanity in our connections. In an increasingly digital world, where much of our communication happens through screen, the physical act of touch becomes even more significant. It grounds us in the present moment, fostering a sense of authenticity that technology cannot replicate. Ultimately, touch is a powerful expression of care, compassion, and commitment. It builds bridges where words might fail, providing a foundation for relationships that can withstand the tests of time and adversity. When used with respect, love, and adversity, when used with respect, love, and intention, touch becomes more than a fleeting moment. It becomes a cornerstone of enduring human connection.